And standing up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. When I stand around, won't be on the road. And the world I feel some pushing me up, and stand around. I won't back down. All right, part 2 of today's live stream. We're talking about I Won't Back Down. I played this song at the live virtual conference on Friday, and I thought it was a really appropriate song to play, a good message for the newspaper industry who we work with at our hometown. So if you're a publisher, you need any help with your website, please contact me. You can go to our-hometown.com. We do WordPress websites. We're hosted on Amazon. We've got a whole platform with all the tools that you need, just totally turnkey setup. But the idea behind the song is that I won't back down. It's like the newspaper industry, won't back down. I think, without a doubt, the most important job in the country right now, with all the issues that we have with disinformation, fake news, we need newspapers more than ever. So we're really proud to do whatever we can to help local journalism. So I dedicated this song to them, but I've been playing the song all weekend and really having fun with the melody here, as I was playing at the beginning. And I won't back down, okay? And I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but won't back down. So we're going to go through some of the theory, because I kind of went through this all in a video that I tried to do earlier, but it didn't work. So it's cool because I figured it out on that video. I didn't know what I was doing before, so this will be even more efficient. But the cool thing that I'm learning about guitar is that, and I kind of had a breakthrough in my lessons with Kim Driggs last week, who's my guitar teacher in Salt Lake. He kind of pointed out that a good solo or a good melody, a good vocal line, a lot of it is going to kind of hang around the chord tones. And what that means is that basically they're singing the notes that are in the chord that it's being played. Not always, not every single note. Sometimes they're walking up to a note that's in the chord, but it's usually the notes in between that are in the same scale but are not in the chord itself are, you're working your way to a note that's in the chord. So let's just break down the vocal line here on the guitar and walk through the chords. So this song goes like this. It's B minor, D, G. Won't back down. So if you want to play it down here, it's easy. E minor, won't back down, G, D. Pretty basic chords. Up at the gates of hell. And then he switches it to the C on the third repeat. No back down. And goes back to the G. I like playing it up here, because then it helps me see how to solo on this. Okay, so let's go through it. E minor is the first note, or first chord, but E is the first note of the vocal line, kind of. He walks up to it a little bit, but watch this. And I won't back down, won't back down. Hope I didn't record that. Okay, so it's in E. That's the very first line that he sings in the song. So it's an E chord, E minor chord, and he's singing an E note. Won't back down. And he goes down to the D, but when he's doing that, that's when the chord is changing. So it's perfect. And so he's basically singing the root note of the first two chords. And so, won't back, right there, I'm changing to the D. When I won't back. Okay, so that makes sense. And I think you'll see. I get really excited when I start to realize the music makes sense, and it's not just like random notes in the scale. It's there's a kind of a science to it. It's math, really. So let's keep going. Won't back down. Okay, that's a B. I'm right on the B string on the 12th fret, so that's a B note. So what chord are we playing there? Won't back down. We're playing the G chord. And the G just happens to have a B in it. So that makes sense again. I'm playing only notes that are in the chords that are being sung. Because, you know, there's more notes in the scale than are in any given chord. So you can't just play random notes in the scale and sound good. That's what I'm starting to realize. So here we go. Won't back down. Won't back down. Okay, so we did a bunch there. I guess one thing I want to point out first is that we could also do like a won't back down. Now it sounds, it sounds right because I'm doing E, D, G, and those are the chords. But when you're playing the third, which is the B note, instead of the root, it just sounds better. And I don't... Whoop. I mean, I guess that's probably because it's closer, you know? I think generally a good solo or a good melody doesn't jump all up and down all over the place. It's kind of like working its way up or down. It's simple. So, okay, let's break that down. So that's what I was talking about earlier. A lot of times you just walk up to the note that you're trying to play. Hold on. So now that's a B. So when we're playing the E minor on the second loop, there's a B note in there. So I'm going to guess that there's a B note in the E minor chord. And of course there is, right there. You got E, B. It's the third in the B minor chord. So that's why that sounds good. Now what's up with that? Back down, down. So we're hitting the G chord there, and we're hitting the G note, and then we're sliding into, what is that? That is a D, which of course is also in the G scale. I guess that would be the fifth. G, B, D. Yeah, it's the fifth of the G chord. So that's why that sounds good. Now I do hit that E there when I'm playing the G, but there's no G note, or there's no E in the G chord. So I gotta get, it's hot. I gotta get off that. But it sounds cool for a split second. It actually is something that you want to play for a split second, but you want to get off it. That's where you start to bend the rules here a little bit. Because I say that you want to play just the chord tones, just the notes that are in the chords being played, but that's not always true. You can create a really cool effect by going out of that pattern, but you don't really want to land on those notes. And you probably don't want to play them too much either, I would think. So I wouldn't want to like hang out on this chord, right? See, if I just stayed there, it's no good. I gotta get off it. That sounds horrible. If I slid up into the E, what would that sound like? mean, it sounds kind of cool, but then you got to get off it right away. You can't stay there. Let's see. I didn't do what I was trying to do. It actually sounds kind of cool because I'm sliding up out of the chord tone, still in the key, but I've got to resolve it with that G. And then I kind of felt the need to end up on the D anyway there. Okay? And then so we got... Okay, so that's where he's going. Stand me up at the gates, hitting that C note there instead of the G. You can stand me up at the gates. So that's cool because it's the same thing as the intro, the very first part of the melody. Stand me up, stand me. E, D, E chord, D chord, E, up. But then we end on this B. Stand me up. We're hitting the B when we're still in the D chord, so that's okay. At the gates of hell. And then we hit the C. Stand me up at the gates. So, stand me up at the gates. Is that right? Me up at the gates of hell. Okay, you see? That all makes sense? That's a C chord right there that we're falling into. Me up at the gates of hell. Right there. Those two notes. Two key notes of the C chord. It's a C and the E. Stand me up at the gates of hell. So this is why this song is so catchy. It's such a beautiful melody because it's perfectly following the chords. Go back down for the last repeat. Okay, I think that's all I got for right now. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll keep testing this live thing. I don't really know what I'm doing here. It's kind of fun though.